So it looks like we know why exactly former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes took that job over at Zeus, hosting that Baddies East reunion. According to multiple reports, she owes a five-figure tax debt after just recently being ordered by a court to pay $25,000 in back rent. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So we will be covering the Super Bowl, Usher, Beyonce, and all of that. If you haven't seen our coverage of that, be sure to check out our video, and you will be able to get a podcast version of that as well on the Kempire podcast, available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. But we have to talk about this Nene Leakes story. So as I started this video out, I said this might be the reason why Nene had taken that position over at Zeus in regards to being a host. Because people are like, why would Nene do that? Why would she think about doing something like that over at Zeus? And I speculated, I said, well, maybe the money was right. Maybe she needs the money. Or just maybe the money was right. You just never know. However, there have been rumors that there have been money issues when it comes to Nene Leakes, allegedly. But we covered part of the story a few months ago in regards to her owing back rent. And remember, she says, well, Greg signed that. And by legal standards, she had a point. Since it was under Greg's name in Georgia, she's not responsible. However, according to this new story, Nene never responded. So now they had a default judgment. Before we get into that, let's report to you what Radar Online is reporting. And then we'll talk to you about why I'm thinking the possibility of Nene, besides the lawsuit that she filed against Bravo, or the possibility of Nene coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, because a lot of you are still believing that that's going to happen. Well, based on what we're seeing, it seems like Nene won't be returning. So according to Radar Online, they report this. They said the former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes was hit with a state tax execution by the Georgia Department of Revenue. According to the document obtained by Radar Online, the reality star initially owed $17,785.22 in taxes for various years. They said, however, the documents show that the debt swelled to $28,593.24 due to interest and fees. The document listed Nene's name and the Kempire LLC, which appears to be connected to her now closed lounge in Georgia. The tax issue comes after Nene was ordered to pay $25,000 in a lawsuit brought by her former landlord at her since shuttered Swagg Boutique. You know, the boutique that had been featured on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We also reported to you about the other location that she had in the DMV, and the employees said that they showed up one day and the place was closed and everything was gone. The landlord claimed that the Bravo star signed a lease in 2017 and extended it by a year in 2021. She said Nene vacated the premises on January of 2022, but failed to pay $22,000 owed in unpaid rent. In the suit, the landlord claimed to have tried to collect the money from Nene, but she refused to pay. All right. Nene was served with the legal paperwork on August 16, 2023, while outside her $1 million condo in Atlanta. The reality star said that she was not responsible for the rent owed. Nene claimed her late husband, Greg, signed the lease. Despite us seeing Nene be in this Swagg Boutique, it made it sort of like, this is my boutique. She featured it on the show. We talked about this in a previous video. But by legal terms, based in Georgia, from what we were hearing, well, technically, that was under Greg's name. So technically, she had no responsibility. And I'm sure someone probably told her that, and that's why she was saying that on social media. So as you know, Greg died on September 1st at the age of 66 after a long battle with cancer. Despite being served, though, Nene failed to respond to the lawsuit. As a result, the judge ordered her to pay $22,000 in unpaid rent, $2,315 in attorney's fees, and another $400 in court costs. So despite you not agreeing with this lawsuit, you still have to respond. So last year, Nene was also hit with a lawsuit by a company called Photography by Ace. The suit said that Nene hired their photographer to take photos of the Lenithia Lounge but failed to pay invoices submitted. A judge granted the company a default judgment. Nene, come on now. So on top of her financial issues, Nene had to deal with her son, as you know, Bryson Bryant, being arrested for possession of fentanyl last year. The ex-RHOA star's oldest son was recently released from jail. He was thrown behind bars after his arrest triggered a probation violation in a previous criminal case. So here's the thing. So as I said to you at the top of this, I feel like the reasoning behind Nene taking the job over at Zeus, because you remember there were rumors that Nene was possibly coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. For some reason, that started to be sparked, and even some people were trying to leak that information to me, and I was just very interested. I was like, where is this coming from? And look, I don't know for a fact that this is coming from Nene, but I believe that Nene was the one feeding that information to the blogs and trying to make it seem like she was coming back. I don't know what she thought that would do. However, I believe that's what she was doing, because all of a sudden it started to be this sort of murmur, oh, Nene's coming back, Bravo's following Nene, and da-da-da. And I was just like, wait a minute. And then I heard people reaching out to me say, oh, I hear Nene's coming back. And I was like, huh. As you know, Nene had a lawsuit against Bravo, NBC Universal, some of the executives over there. From the last time they reported, they were in mediation. I have no update in regards to whether or not it's still in mediation, but it was in mediation for a very long time. So her taking this position over Zeus for me was the cherry on top. It confirmed for me. I was like, oh, so Nene, you're definitely not returning to Bravo, because if you were returning to Bravo, you wouldn't be doing this over here. All right. Trust and believe, she would not be doing Zeus if she was coming back to Bravo, or even if Bravo was on the table. She would not be coming back. She would not be doing Zeus right now. But a lot of you had reactions like, oh, Kempire, did you hear that Nene's doing Zeus? Well, like, why would she do that? I'm thinking, I'm sure they paid her a pretty bag for it. I'm also pretty sure that she probably needs the money. There have been rumors about Nene's money for a while now. No matter how you feel about someone, you can like someone, you can think they're great reality TV, but the situation seems a little interesting in regards to her money. And as we just said in regards to that lawsuit, she had a valid point. She had a valid point in regards to, at least when it comes to Georgia state laws, when it comes to that particular boutique not being under her name. It was under her now deceased husband's name. And if she went to court, she probably would have won. Maybe, we don't know, depending on her attorney. So the fact that she didn't even respond to the lawsuit and they ended up winning by a default, in two lawsuits, they won by default. The back rent lawsuit, the invoice lawsuit in regards to the photographer for the Lenithia Lounge, and now she has this tax debt. None of this seems good. None of this seems good. But I've said this before when Nene was complaining and she had collaborated with Bethany, and that was another thing. People thought, oh, because she removed the photos of her and Bethany together, that maybe she's going to work back with Bravo. I think all of that was intentional. And she had started doing things with Bethany. I don't believe they had an official working relationship, but they had started collaborating. And it seemed as if Nene was getting back on, all right, I'm going to get myself back on track. And I think after seeing what Bethany had accumulated after being on the show as long as she had been on the show, and she literally said this on her YouTube channel, that she's like, it's so crazy how far this woman has come, and we were both at the same time coming up, and I don't have the same. All right? She didn't get down to the nitty gritty of what that meant, but it seemed as if it helped motivate her for a time. She was going on her YouTube channel. She was posting and things like that. Based on what I've seen or not have seen, she's not being as consistent with that anymore. And I think that's part of the problem with Nene, is that she doesn't have the team or the drive to do that level of work or build up. But I feel like there are so many people that would want to help Nene get her YouTube channel together, get her business stuff together, because she is a great talent, but not all talent are great in every other aspect of the business side or the publicity or marketing side of what it takes to take that talent and make it what we see in other people. Either way, hopefully that Zeus check was enough to pay off this tax debt and these judgments that Nene owes. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction to this news in regards to former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a